Well, good afternoon, team. We've got Bee behind us there, hiding under the covers, and we actually haven't looked at Bee since the day we got him home. He's been sitting there. That's where he stalled when we were trying to park him, and it was close enough, so we left him there. But we finally got a nice day. See, look, nice day. And we've got some time, and so we're going to lift the covers off. We're going to try and get him started again, moved out. We can take a closer look, and then we'll park him properly as well. So let's see what happens. Let's see what we actually got, huh?
Yeah, hopefully it's good.
So we've pilfered a battery from one of the other cars over there, sitting down there somewhere. And also, we need to be able to get that one out, the one behind there in the blue covers. So we haven't seen that car in, I don't know, a year. So that's a bit unfair that he's locked in there. So let's get to having some fun, looking at some cars.
Yeah.
See what we got.
Yeah.
All right, well, there we go. First look in the sunshine too. We picked this up, it was pouring with rain. Very wet day. Literally haven't looked at it since it got back, so it's been raining here for about 8 months straight. But I think we got some potential here. Obviously Bumblebee's meant to be yellow, so one day it'll be yellow. But the best thing about Bumblebeeing it is Bumblebee's not meant to be all pretty and showroom. It's a bit of a rat rod, and so this car is perfect to be a rat rod for the family to cruise around in. All right, so here we are, first look inside as it was when we got it. Apparently we have in boxes here a carpet kit, new seat covers, and a new console lid. So that will help a lot to make it look better. Well, here's where the action happens. Doesn't look too bad.
That's cool.
There's not much rust in here. We had a good look. There's a bit of rust in the hood and along the front here. But again, it's not too bad.
It's a lot different to a normal car's thing.
But when you look in here, look along the firewall, everything like that, I haven't seen any major rust. There's none in the sills or anything like that either, so looks good. That battery's completely dead. We'll hook this other battery up and see if we can get it out onto the lawn.
Before we start it, we've got to make sure all the juices are okay and make sure the coolant and the other juices are okay. Okay, so now we're going to take the oil and there's a lot of oil, but it's dirty, but it's there.
Well, that's a good start.
Yeah. So now we've got to check the coolant. But there isn't any, so that's a bad sign. So now we've got to go put some more in. So we've got to fill it up with the hose.
Okay.
Oh, how big is it? Everything was dry, but now everything is wet. But it didn't go out of the bottom, so that's good.
Yep, the coolant's still there, so it's a start. Okay, pop the lid back on. All right, so apparently this guy's gonna try start the car whilst he's getting himself into gear. We can have a look. This is all nice and solid. There's a little bit of bubbles down there, but it's all solid. It's not Bondo.
Bubbles!
All along here seems solid too. There's not much down in here either. That all looks really dry, so that's why we thought this car was worth giving a crack. All right, give it a crank, see if anything happens. Come on, don't be shy. Go.
Do I do more?
Yeah. Okay, stop. All right, we've given it a few cranks. You don't need to see a whole bunch of videos of it not starting, but we're gonna give it a bit of starter fluid, see if that works. Joel's been playing with lizards.
Love this.
All right, we put a little bit of starter fluid down there.
What?
See what it does now. Go, Cohen.
Okay.
Give it a good crank. Ooh, very close.
Alright, you do it. I'm scared.
Okay. There we go. Ooh, close. Kind of start, kind of run. A little lumpy, but then I'm guessing it hasn't been driven in a couple of years or more, except for maybe on and off years. We'll let it warm up and then we'll move it out onto the lawn. Well, she's a bit lumpy, but smoothing out slowly as it warms up. The other good thing is we've got folds, that's nice. We've got a tacho, that's good. We'll see if the temperature starts to come up. That'd be nice if that works too. We've also got power steering. That's helpful. So there's hope for the old girl. See what happens. Can't take my foot off the accelerator right now. It's got no idle. But hopefully as it warms up, we'll get an idle and then we'll be able to look around. Still has no idle. I let it stall out just because I want to come and check we're not gushing coolant all over the place, which we still look pretty dry underneath. Cohen said he couldn't see anything dripping out, so that's good. So we might try and give this girl a move across to the lawn. Well, that was a performance, but she's out. Very hard to maneuver. When it didn't want to keep an idle, it would stall out every time I tried to change gears. If I gave it too much, it would really clunk that transmission. So, but it moves. Forwards and backwards work. The other issues we had were brakes. They didn't want to work and then they wanted to stick on, but that's okay. All part of the fun. Fact is, she runs. She moves and she's pretty straight by the look of it, so pretty happy with what we've got.
And he's gonna do Bumble Bee!
Yep, Bumble Bee one day. But for now, let's just get it running and moving properly. The mark of the Bumble Bee. I think the back left brakes are having issues and they weren't coming off, and so the back right wheel kept spinning every time I tried to move. it moved. We got there in the end. I also love this. When you ship a car, you get a standard shipping package that would come with your Amazon box or anything else. Just a regular standard shipping label thing. I kind of find that amusing. And apparently it has no dimensions. Cool. Alright, so we found the air filter in the trunk. We've thrown that back on. I think we're starting to lose a little bit of coolant. According to Cohen, he saw some coming out. Ooh, bubbly. That's exciting. At least it means it's getting agitated. So I think our first port of call on this car is going to be oil change, coolant flush. We'll look for the leaks before we put new coolant in. We'll fill it up with clean water and all that kind of stuff. Get the lifeblood flowing again, and then maybe a basic tune-up, plugs and leads and all that kind of thing. See if we can get it running a little bit more. This might be a good one for the old Seafoam tune-up as well. See if we can get the insides cleaned up a little bit too. I don't know, we'll make it up as we go along, but for now, we got it out, we had a look at it. We've cleaned the leaves up that are accumulating underneath, and now we'll put it back properly so it's out of the way and people can get around it better.
It also drives.
Yeah, it moves. That's a good start. We're also definitely going to have a look at those brakes, so there'll be some work to do there. But if we can get it running and stopping, then that's half the battle. So just so that we've done one thing whilst we've got it out, I just went to close this door and it's very creaky, so just throw some lubricant on here. At least we've done something then. Be very liberal with it. If nothing else, it's rust inhibitor, which is good. Give it a good old spray down. See if that made a difference. It moves, that's nice. So a quick final look through before we put it away. Still pretty happy. There's really not much, just a little bit of bubble down here. The back seals look, or the back guards I should say, look really solid. As far as I can tell, the seals underneath are really solid. It's good. I did find a couple of little things in the floor, so we might need some floor work there. You can see daylight through there. And it's something like that on the other side as well. So, but like generally, it's pretty solid. And given how much it's rained over the last few weeks since we've had it here, it's not wet inside, which is nice. I mean, it has had that cover on, but that cover's not waterproof. It just is there to stop the leaves and the gunk getting into things. So, you know, it's promising. It's going to be a rat rod, so nothing needs to be perfect. We'll pull all the old carpets at some point and throw them all out. I won't even put down the new carpet yet. I think I might just run it with the exposed floors for a while. Bit of rust in there. So there's bits around, but not terrible. I think fit for purpose would be the best way to describe this. I'm gonna have to find that trim there. The guy who sold it to me gave me pointers on where to get that trim from. We've got a bit of bubbling along here, so trim will all need to come off. That's been bogged, I think, already. But again, we're not going for showroom, we're going for rat rod. So none of this worries me. I think we've got a pretty solid foundation to build Bumblebee. Well, there we go. For now, I think that's a good first look. Nothing too scary in there that we didn't expect. It's going to be all the basics for a car that hasn't been on the road for a while, and brakes and tune-ups and things like that. And the body's not too scary, so we do need a new windshield as well. So I'll have to find out where to get one of those in Australia. And other than that, I think we could probably put her on the road as a rat rod fairly soon. So it's just a matter of time, which I don't have. So we'll see how long it takes. But we've cleaned a spot. and we know it runs, so we can move it and get the old Corvette in and out. So that'll be next weekend's task, is to get the Corvette out and pump the tyres up so that we can go get new tyres and get it all serviced and ready for the road again. And that's about it for today.
Yeah.
Put it back,
Yeah.
and then we'll say goodnight. So she's back in her resting spot now. We managed to get her running without my foot, using the good old broomstick choke in there. And we'll just let it sit for a little while. Temperature gauge is even starting to come up, so whether it's accurate or not, who knows, but at least it's moving. That's good. Off, so there's no pressure in the cooling system, but no leaks either, so nothing major externally leaking. That'll be good. We won't put the cap on this time round. That can be a test for another day. There we go, movement in the cooling system. There's even some green in there, so that's not terrible either. At the end of the day, she's going to want to live. Choose life, Bumblebee, choose life. Well, there we go. She's all buttoned up now. Time to sleep. We'll catch you in another week or 6. See you, Bee.